Hey folks, this is Mickey G,
And I'm Rodney T.
and welcome to the initial episode of Old Fools Talking Old School. And you may be wondering, what is this podcast about? Well, if you can't tell from the title, me and my partner Rodney, we're mature brothers, and we got our own ideas about things. You know, we from that baby boomer generation. We think we're the best generation, so we're going to sort of take a look at what's going on today, compare what's going on tomorrow, and then maybe come up with some idea of how we can teach the young folks some things, give them a little bit of advice and some options on things. And the main thing we're here to do is to have some fun. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
both are retirees, both from military service, and me from federal service, and Rodney from state service in Oklahoma. And we're just here to have some fun. So we hope that you enjoy the conversation, and that's what we're trying to have, just a bit of a conversation, and then we'll go from there. And Rodney and I have been friends for, when did you get to the yard in Lackland, Rodney?
I don't want to date myself, because I'm a pretty young dude, unlike yourself. But I got there about 1978.
All right, that's what I was thinking about the time frame you got there, and you notice I said mature individuals. You know, even in the title of the podcast, I didn't want to use the real world old, so I said OL apostrophe because
yes,
I don't feel old, and I know you don't either.
Right.
Yeah, just sometimes them days after we went out there and done a little bit more than we should have. I feel a little aged, but I wouldn't say I'm old.
Yeah, exactly. Just like a few minutes ago when I got up to get my laptop here, I felt that need, boy. I was like, oh my God. So I ain't gonna say old, but I felt a little old.
Yeah, and I'm hoping there's folks out there that can sort of identify with that, but also younger folks that can enjoy the conversation. That's for sure.
Here's another reason that old might apply, because actually I got to the yard in 77.
77?
Yeah, when I think about it, it was 77. So
yeah, so we've been friends for. Is it 4? I'm having to do math here on the top of my head now. See that ain't good. Is it 44 years now?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time that we've been friends. And it's funny I say that because when I was writing the description for our podcast, I put down a couple of partners who've been friends for a long time. And I'm like, well, I maybe shouldn't use the word partner. Because back in our day, partner means your best friends and your running buddy.
Yeah.
But these days, partner can mean like your same sex partner.
Hey, man. Hey, bro. Hey. The old school.
I'm saying about that now.
Hey, the old school know what we talking about.
Yeah, okay.
It's funny you say that. I had a partner here. Well, I got a partner here, and so I went by his house one Saturday. We usually kick it a little bit on Saturday. So I stopped in there, but my wife had asked me to pick up something at a store. So he said, well, hey, I'll ride with you. I said, okay, come on. We went to the store, man. And we, not even thinking, he's of our age persuasion and not thinking about it. We walking down the aisle. We just got one basket. Hey, we there together. We just going to get some stuff and then, leave out of there. And then I got to looking at it, man. I'm like, man, hey, yo, bro, hold on. Let me get my stuff out of here. I'm going to get my own basket. I'll meet you at the front. And again, ain't nothing wrong. I ain't got nothing against that. But I'm like, no, people get things confused now. And I was like, no, bro, I'll meet you at the front. I'm going to go get my stuff. Yeah. That is old school, bro.
Yeah, and that's how things have changed through the years.
Yeah.
Like I say, any other time, because, even when we talk, what's up, partner? And just don't think nothing of it. But when I was writing that description up, I'm like, it's funny how just that word has changed over the years. So,
Everything.
so I changed. I didn't use partner. I used good friends for a
Yeah.
number of years.
Yep.
So yeah, I know what you mean. And we are old school. We like old school things. We came up through that generation and all, but there's also times when you look at it and say, well, sometimes old school need to go ahead and sit down. Man, I was watching that replay of that Evander Holyfield fight. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm. I
You
hadn't
ain't
seen
seen
that.
it.
Nah.
He went in there and fought this young guy, man, and well, I think it was 109 seconds. They stopped the fight, you know, and that young blood was beating Evander around that ring, man. And typical, Evander Holyfield. When he finally got up, they finally got him up. He asked the referee why they stopped the fight. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Evander, the man done bounced you around the ring. Why are you asking why they stopped the fight? And they talked to him after the fight, and they were saying, and Evander, do you think maybe you shouldn't have took this fight or whatever? And he was like,
Mhm.
yeah, my kids would tell me I shouldn't have took this fight, but I took it anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sometimes you need to listen to your kids sometimes.
Yes, sir. Especially in that instance, there, he should have said. I mean, that young boy done beat the tires off of him. He done forgot. He should have asked for the real reason he was there. Where's my check? Cause.
And I was wondering about that, Rodney. I was
Mhm.
like, does Evander need the money?
Well, man, he didn't have them bankruptcies, and
Yeah.
he's got about 2 football teams worth of kids and stuff. Man, ain't no telling him. Hey, these brothers think they can fight forever, man.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
guess so. I guess when you're that elite kind of athlete, it's hard to give it up. But I remember back in high school, man, when I was trying to run tailback at about 130 pounds, and that cornbread fed white boy picked me up and threw me down like a bag of potatoes. I thought I was thought about that song. Put me in, coach.
Yeah,
I was like, no, take me out, coach. I went,
yeah.
I went the next day and turned all my stuff in. Man, I'm like, coach, this game ain't for me. I'm too small. He said, yeah. He said, yeah. You a bit light. I said, yeah, it ain't for me. So I had no problem. But then again, like I say, I wasn't that elite athlete like a lot of these other
Mhm.
guys that seem like they can't give it up. But that was all the persuasion I needed.
Hey, I'm telling you, bro. These brothers. A lot of times they be great athletes, and they really ain't got no experience in life and all that. And they believe all these yes people that are around them. Man, you got to. One of your first trains of thought should be, how long can I do this, and how much money can I save? Because I ain't gonna be able to do it for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Well,
get a
he built that big house down there outside Atlanta with like
yeah,
50 rooms and all that kind of stuff,
yeah,
man.
man.
And it's crazy, crazy stuff. But I was thinking, I'm like Evander, because I read they say he has a multi-fight deal with this company he's working with, some kind of streaming service, I
Hmm.
think is where he's fighting. And he
Hmm.
has a multiple fight deal. And I'm like, Evander, instead of going out there with that young brother, what about calling up Buster Douglas or Jerry Cooney or even Butterbean? Give Butterbean a call and say, "Hey man, I want to sort of resurrect my career, and they want to put us on. What about coming out and having a bout with me? You don't go out there with them young kids, man. Them kids bounce you all around that ring."
Hey, man, what about sitting down and play with your grandkids? I mean, you can't be totally broke. I mean, come on now. You gonna get in there and God forbid one of them punches hits you upside the head and you never recover. Man, you gotta know when to, as Kenny Rogers say, you gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
I heard that.
Cause these young boys out here, and I ain't coming from nowhere where I ain't been before. Cause I tell you, I played several sports and thought I was pretty good, and all that. And boy, after after a while, boy, you start hitting them 30s. and your mind is still telling you, "Oh, I can take him." This is a young man's sport, man. The sooner you realize, the better off you're gonna be, man. I was like, man, in my mind, I went around him, but in reality, I ran over him.
I know what you mean,
Yeah,
man.
you gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them, cause boy,
Yeah,
it's a young man's world, man.
it is. It is. But a lot of those guys do that. I look back at Ali, and he may have had some of his early Parkinson's back at that time, but
Yep,
he I think stayed around too long. I
yep,
I
yep,
even look at a whole nother sport. Somebody that I admire to the day, and it's definitely admired during their time. But Kareem, I mean,
yeah.
there was a time when nobody went inside, whether it was when he was with the Bucks or when he was the Lakers. Nobody brought the ball inside. Then all of a sudden, point guards was driving on Kareem. I'm like, man,
Hey,
yeah, Kareem, I think maybe it's time to go ahead and call it a career.
hey, man. You once you set a standard, somebody's always out there figuring out how I'm gonna break this. I mean, every athlete that's been when their time is up. My father-in-law used to say that, boy, you gotta know when your time is up.
Yeah.
When that time is up, boy, there's a young whippersnapper coming out there gonna put that Nike swoosh upside your head, and it ain't gonna be funny, you know. But these people be listening to all these folks that's these yes men that with them. Oh, you can do it. You can do it, champ. Come on, champ. You can do it.
Make me a paycheck, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. And neither one of them gonna step in there and get that lick upside the
That's
head.
right. That's
So
right. Yeah. And as I was following up on that Holyfield thing, now I guess Mike Tyson, he's come back on the scene, and he's challenging Lennox Lewis to about now. That one might not be so bad because they were from about the same era when they were boxing and stuff. Unlike Holyfield, who went with this young kid and stuff.
right.
But Mike is saying that Evander done messed things up because he went in there with this young kid and got bounced around the ring, and ain't nobody going to pay no money to see him and Lennox Lewis. And then he gonna say he'll come back and fight. What is those brothers? Those the ones of boxers, the white guys. I can't think of their names now.
Klitschko's. Klitschko?
Yeah. He said he come back and fight one of them for $100 million. Who gonna pay Mike Tyson $100 million to come back and fight?
Who gonna pay $100? That's what I'm getting ready to say. All these dudes living in the past. Nobody want what? Sponsored by Geritol. Nobody want to see that mess.
He said if they pay me $100 million, I'll come back and fight. I'm like, Mike, I don't think nobody gonna pay $100 million for you to come back and fight.
I'm telling you, shit, $100 would be too much. I guess they think they're gonna get some pay-per-view, huh?
I guess so. I guess so.
I know I wouldn't buy it. Hey, no, I ain't finna buy that mess. Matter of fact, Mike Tyson is the reason I stopped buying pay-per-view. I was buying pay-per-views left and right when they had some good fighters. I get it. Man, I got pay-per-view when he fought. Who was that? I think it was Spinks in the first round. I didn't even get to sit down with my beer and chips. Boy, the fight was already over. I was like, I'll be damned.
Yeah, that happened because that was when we both were over in England, and I did the same thing. The fight came on because it was like early in the morning over there.
Yeah,
and the fight came on, and I told my wife, I said, I'm gonna run upstairs and get a quick shower so I can come back and watch the fight. Well, I got a quick shower, came back down, the fight had started. No. The fight was over when I got back, and I'm like, "What happened?" They showed the replay of him knocking Spinks out in the first round, and I wanted to hit my own self because when we in England at that time, you could bet on anything. I mean, you could bet on soccer, well, football as they called it. You could bet on it, and they had all these different odds for the Spinks Tyson fight. So we went in, my partner was over there with me. We went in to play some bets, and I placed a few bets, I wasn't a big better anyway, but there were I forgot what the odds were for a first round knockout by Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I was about to put a pound down. It was like, I forgot, like 100 and 200 to 1. I want to put just a pound on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, well, no. Spink's a dance around and move around and get out of the way for the first round. So he ain't gonna get knocked out in the first round. He can run for the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, man, I said to myself, if I had to just put $5 down on that, I would have made probably $6,000 on that bet alone for a first round knockout. I was kicking myself left and right that I missed the actual knockout live, and then I missed some money too because I was like, I could have put some money down on that first round knockout, and I didn't do it.
Yes, sir. Because I tell you what, he was running, but Tyson caught him. Boy, I was like, I think I still had my chips and my beer in my hand. I was like, what the heck? But hey, it be that way, you know. It was a whole lot of people out of that $69.99.
And I was one of them. Because, you know, during that time, you know, people were complaining that a lot of the Tyson fights, you know, sort of weren't worth the price because he had such quick knockouts and stuff, you know. But of course, you know how them pay-per-views were. The pay-per-view started at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson didn't fight about midnight. You know, they had all them undercard matches and things like that going on. But people were complaining that Tyson's fights were so short, they weren't getting their money's worth.
Yeah, and then by the time, like you said, by the time he fought, hell, you already drunk. So shit, you didn't know who won the fight. Yeah, man. So I was like, the heck with this. I'll watch that rerun next Saturday. You know.
Yeah.
I'm just donating money, you know, to Tyson. But hell, of all of them coming back, he be the most menacing. Boy, every time I see him with that tattoo upside his face, I'm like, boy, that was a scary looking dude.
Scary. It is scary, man, and you know, and just to think that, you know, you might be in a situation where Mike might not be taking his medication because they were saying that was an issue during that Holyfield fight. Really bit his ear off. They said Mike wasn't taking his medication.
Yeah. Mike was wild, boy.
You don't know what he might do, you know.
We got a little inside. Well, it ain't no family joke. It's just what really happened. But my youngest son, every time we start talking about Mike Tyson, he talks about the time he gave an interview, and I think it was that Jim, whatever his name, the dude was his little nemesis there. God, I can't think of his name. Anyway, he's asking Mike, well, Mike, how's your back? You know, your back. They say you had a little problem with your back there. He's like, yeah, I had a little problem with my back. He said, well, what is it? You know, is it a disc or what? No, it's spinal. Boy, when my son said that, because I never caught it. I never heard of it. He said, yeah, he rolled it back and showed it. It's spinal. So we were walking around here for days saying, oh, it's spinal, my back. Said, Mike, is it a disc problem? No, it's spinal. Okay. All right. Who gonna check him?
That's right. That's right. Who gonna say anything about it? That's for sure. Mike just knew y'all weren't on his level. You know,
that's what it was.
Y'all weren't on his level, you know.
That's exactly what it was. They're like his cartoons. I tried it just for the hell of it. Say, hey, this brother's trying to diversify. I ain't get it. I think I watched about 2 minutes of it. Okay, all right. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, yeah, I tell you. And he ain't the only one, man. I was watching the trailer for that new Clint Eastwood movie that came out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you know, Clint's made some movies. He's been around for a while and stuff. I can understand him wanting to stay in the business and stuff. But when I saw that fight scene that's in that movie, man, it looked like he was like, okay, I'm going to throw a right now. Now I'm going to throw a left. It was so slow. And I'm like, Clint, I mean, I could see where you want to be on, like you say, sitting on the porch with your grandkids, telling them all the things you've done. And, I mean, the man's 91 years old,
I'm telling you.
I can see where you want to do something like that. Say, hey, I was back in them old Westerns and that kind of thing. But when they showed the fight scene and then I went out there, I said, well, I ain't been to movies in years. I went out there to see what the movie was about. They said that his ex-boss's son was like kidnapped in Mexico, and he needed to get him out of there. And I'm like, I'm your ex-boss, but I can't find nobody better than a 91-year-old
Exactly.
to go down to Mexico to bring my son back. I'm like, worst case scenario, I could probably call up Dog the Bounty Hunter and have him go down and try to get. But I'm gonna get a 91-year-old man to go down there and bring my son back.
Yeah, man. I saw the trailer. It didn't spark no interest. I just kept on going. That ain't even, half the thing about these movies. I mean, you got to have some semblance of that could possibly be.
Right.
He too damn up. Plus two, my thing about him, ever since he sat in that chair criticizing Obama, I ain't had a whole lot for Clint after that.
Yeah.
I ain't really had a whole lot to say about him. These old dudes be in these movies, but that's just like athletes. They ain't no different. These actors, they don't know when to quit.
Yeah.
He still think he one of them what was that series that he did?
Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry. You still think he Dirty Harry, and he just soiled Clint now. He ain't no Dirty Harry. You have to sit your old behind down.
That's what I thought about too, man. When I saw that, I'm like, come on now, don't have a fight scene in the movie. I look at this fight scene and it's like, what it sort of reminded me of back in the day when we was growing up. You remember the Rock'em Sock'em robots?
Yeah.
You push the button. It sort of reminded me of the Rock'em Sock'em robots. I'm like, oh boy, not a fight scene at 91 years old. But I guess, like you say, it's hard to give it up.
Yeah, they don't want to give it up. They still like that adulation, But hell, at least keep it in the realm of realness,
reality, right?
Yeah. I can go. Yeah, I can see that. You can't. You sitting up there like, come on now. You ain't. Now next they're gonna show you running down the dude. At 91 years old. Come on, man.
Oh man, I know what you mean. And well, as I say, we definitely all in the old school, but there comes a time when you have to just tell old school it's time to sit down. Because your day's gone by. Bow out gracefully, take your accolades and go ahead and go home with them. But sometimes that's hard to do.
Yep. But if you don't want to embarrass yourself, you better take your ball and go home. Some of these young fellas will show you the way.
That's for sure. They'll make you take your ball. Well, no, they may just send you home. You may not even have your ball when you go home.
That's right. Boy, because this is, and it goes by so fast. That's just like, sometimes like when we be talking or you sit down and reminisce about something and, oh man, that was in 79. It seemed like just yesterday, but then when you realistically put the time frame together, damn, that was a minute ago.
That was a while ago. That's for sure. And like you say, it's good to be able to think back and reminisce about those old times and things. But when you think about it, it's like, man, that was a minute ago.
Yeah, man. I got reminded the other day. I went on the base there, man, and he looked at my card. He said, "Oh, sir, your card is going to be expiring in November." I said, "All right, thanks for telling me, man, 'cause I don't never look at the thing." I said, "So, where's headquarters at?" He's like, "Sir?" I said, where is headquarters? Where you go over there and get your pictures taken? He said, "Oh, well, headquarters is right down there." He said, "But they don't take no pictures over there no more." I was like, "Oh, really?" I said, "So where's passing ID? Where do I need to go to get this ID card made?" Man, he named off an acronym. I'm like, where the hell did you get that from? I'm like, where is that? oh, that's over by another acronym by that building. I'm like, hey man, is that by the gym or is that over by, I don't know what you're talking about, man. And I told you about that one where when I bought another car, I went over there like when we was active duty, you know, you bought a car, you took it to the security police and let the dogs go through to make sure ain't wasn't no uh, weed or nothing transported in the car.
Right.
So I'm still in that mindset, right? So we got the car, and I was over there one day. I said, "Hey man, where can I go to get my car inspected?" He said, "Excuse me, sir, inspected?" I said, "Yeah. When you get a new vehicle, you come over, you can come over and let the dogs walk through it to make sure." Because see, back in our day, if you got caught with some marijuana in your car, it wasn't even no discussion. You were gone.
Right.
Especially if you were a career airman, And so he's like, sir, I've never heard of that. I'm like, I said, you never heard of it? I said, yeah, man, that's SOP. That's standard operating procedures there when you get a car. He got on the phone and called over to wherever he was. He said, I have someone here who says that we inspect cars. So he had to call the supervisor or somebody in an authoritative position. And they're like, I never heard of that. I'm like, let me take myself home. Oh, that's old school there. They don't even do that no more. Man, didn't even know what I was talking about. I was like, okay, all righty then.
Yeah, things have changed, man. You try to keep up on things and stuff. When I was talking to my daughters about doing this podcast and stuff. They said, Dad, podcast? What do you know about a podcast? I'm like, I know about a podcast. I know what that is.
Right.
So you try to stay up on current things and all, try to be with the young kids, but yeah, sometimes some of that stuff I just can't keep up with, man.
No,
like you say,
man.
it just sort of passes you by after a while.
Yeah. That's if there's anything I miss about the military, other than good friends, it is the younger troops coming in to keep you up on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My sons couldn't get away with nothing because I all I had to do was listen to my troops. I knew all the lingo. I knew what was popping at the time, and just like we have our troops in there. You coming there, they're acting a little funny. You go looking at them eyes. My boys when they got up some age, whenever they come in the house, they knew I was up. I'm like, hey, you might as well come on up here and let me take a look at you. They couldn't get away with nothing. Now I don't know jack. I don't know nothing. Them young boys and they ain't around no more. So now I'll be like, what? When they start doing that? So that's the one thing I definitely missed.
Hey, Rodney, look like our time is up for this session. We're going to have to let the folks go. So until next time, this is Mickey G.
And Rodney T.
Peace.
Peace.